Hello everybody. There sure isn't anyone in the world who hasn't heard of adoption. It's an ordinary procedure when an adult takes responsibility for a child, even if they aren't biologically related. But what about animals? It turns out that there are many similar examples in wild nature, and sometimes adoption even happens between representatives of different species. It is about such unusual cases that we'll be talking about today. Let's go. It's hard to imagine more incompatible animals than a tiger and a pig. They are literally on the opposite sides of the food chain. Such an encounter wouldn't end well in the wild, but sometimes amazing things happen in nature. An interesting experiment of taming tigers was conducted in a Thai zoo. Little tiger cubs were nursed by a pig, while a tigress raised little piglets. Neither one of the mothers had an issue with this. On the contrary, they treated the babies very motherly. According to the zoo workers, this kind of an unexpected mixing of species should make tigers more obedient and teach them that pigs are friends and not food. To be honest, we're not sure that it's actually possible, but who knows? Motherly instinct can work in mysterious ways. Herman is a pigeon who can't fly, and Lundy is a chihuahua who can't walk. It seems that these two have nothing in common, but that isn't really so. In January 2020, Lundy was taken in by a public organization in the American city of Rochester, which is engaged in the rescue of animals with congenital disabilities. There, it met Herman and took the dog under its wing. Although their relationship is more of a friendly one and not of a father and son, we still couldn't deprive you of this story in these images. Sue Rogers, the founder of the foundation, said that the couple is inseparable. The two animals like to cuddle up with each other on their fluffy blanket. By the way, the foundation received many offers from people ready to take in both Herman and Lundy together so that these two would never have to be separated. They would have been sworn enemies in the wild, but in a wildlife sanctuary in South Carolina, an orangutan and 3 tigers have become best friends. A male orangutan watched the cubs' caretakers and seemed to want to try it too. As a result, a strong bond has developed between him and the cubs, and it seems that the orangutan considers himself their father or mother or some sort of caretaker. This isn't the first time that an orangutan has made friends with cubs. Primates love unexpected friendships. A chimpanzee named Toto, who lives in one of the zoos in Thailand, also cares for and feeds a tiger cub and looks like a real mother doing it. A small spotted lamb from South Australia was abandoned by its mother. In situations like this, it is usually the farm owner or someone living on the farm who takes care of the lamb, but in this case, the lamb found an adoptive mother, a female Dalmatian. I must say that these two really do have similar coloring. That might be why the dog thought that this strange puppy was really hers, and the lamb didn't seem to mind. Now it follows the adoptive mother everywhere, and the mother licks, guards, and takes care of the lamb. But the owner still has to bottle feed it. We won't be surprised if over time the lamb starts barking, bringing slippers, or guarding the house. After all, it's definitely going to have a good upbringing. Back in 2014, a lion cub was born in the Sri Lankan zoo, but unfortunately, the mother rejected the baby. It happens sometimes in nature, and sadly, a wild animal can't be reasoned with. Therefore, the zoo workers were worried because even though it's possible to feed a lion cub, it is very difficult to live without parental love and care. So a dog came to the rescue. The dog had also just given birth to puppies at the time, and just a few hours later, the new mother took in the lion cub as one of her own. She fed it, licked it, took care of it, and even seemed to love it more than her own puppies. The lion cub played with the rest of the puppies and grew up happy. Of course, when the lion finally grew up, it needed to find a more suitable home. It couldn't stay in the dog owner's house, so that the predator was first transferred to a zoo and then to a reserve. Today, it has turned into a beautiful lion with a luxurious mane and no longer resembles that tiny furball the dog had adopted. I wonder if it remembers who it was that fed and raised it. Would the lion be able to recognize its adoptive mother after a few years? When hens lay eggs, their instinct tells them to sit on them to keep the future offspring warm. When the chicks hatch, they are still tiny and fragile. So the mom keeps them near until they're big enough to keep warm on their own. But mother hen has enough love and warmth for everyone around, even kittens. A hen named Coco literally sits on little kittens and is very careful to ensure that nothing threatens them. For example, it chases other chickens out of the house where the babies sleep. Wait, what about the cat mother? The kittens couldn't have hatched from chicken eggs. The cat lives in the same house, in the chicken coop. Moreover, Coco sits on her as well, out of habit. Once upon a time, the hen raised her as well, and now it seems to have become a proud grandmother. The hen takes care of its fluffy daughter and its grandchildren. However, Coco also has a biological daughter, and this young hen also takes care of the kittens, just like a real aunt? This is the strangest family we've ever seen. But Coco's case isn't a unique one. Another hen took it upon itself to care for newborn rabbits, even though they did have a parent. But don't think of it as taking over someone else's nest. The rabbit and the hen shared responsibilities. One of them fed the babies, while the other one kept them warm. We can say that they worked in shifts, and it did look as strange as it sounds, but it seems that the animals were happy about it. Are you used to thinking that pit bulls are aggressive and vicious creatures, real bloodthirsty monsters ready to bite everyone who they come across? Well, that's because you haven't met Ashlyn. She's the best adoptive dog mother in the world. When 3 little raccoons were orphaned, they ended up in the house of Ashlyn's owner. She immediately decided that the adorable trio were her puppies. Why? Why not? The raccoons were completely helpless, could hardly walk on their own, and were very scared. No one knows how and why they lost their mother, but the adoptive mother immediately took them in. Now Ashlyn is always next to her raccoon puppies. They touch her all the time, thus making sure that they are safe. However, with such a defender, they definitely have nothing to fear. Despite the fact that raccoons are very tame and adore their people, they're still taught to be real wild animals. They learn to get food for themselves, rummage around and climb trees. So when the time comes, they can return to the wild. Even the most domesticated cats are usually predators at heart. They still remember the time when their distant ancestors hunted in the wild. Sometimes genetic memory takes over, and then your goldfish, parrot, or random mouse falls prey to them. But for this cat, the maternal instinct is more important than the hunter's instinct. Ronan and Emma Lally from a large Irish village could hardly believe their eyes when their cat adopted 3 orphan ducklings, which she raised together with her own 3 kittens. At first, Ronan thought the cat would just eat the duckling when she suddenly grabbed it in her teeth. But it turned out that she gathered them together to lie down next to her. That is, she did the exact thing that she was used to doing with kittens. Moreover, they quickly became attached to their adoptive mother and held on to her if people tried to separate them. Experts say that although this is a rather unusual case, it can't be called completely strange. Animals don't understand numbers, so the cat didn't even think about the fact that she only gave birth to 3 kittens. If they're little babies, they're her babies. Jack Russell Terrier dogs are energetic, noisy, and fearless. But sometimes they can also be excellent nannies, and not just for human babies, but for wild animals too. Meet Natty. She is a permanent resident of an animal shelter in Namibia, and a foster mother, or at least a very good nanny, for all the babies there. Natty doesn't seem to realize that they all belong to other species. For her, all babies are just that, babies, and they need care, protection, and affection. The founder of the shelter says that Natty provides baby animals with such maternal love that no human can give them. She treats other animals as if they are in no way different from her. Even when Natty's foster babies grow up and turn out to be several times larger than their caretaker, they always remain babies for her. Many people consider capybaras to be the friendliest creatures on the planet, and this is a well-deserved reputation. Capybaras are the largest rodents. They adhere to a vegetarian diet, live in packs, and don't have a problem with anyone at all. On the contrary, capybaras are very friendly to every living creature, and Cheesecake is an excellent example of this. This capybara ended up in an animal shelter in Arkansas when she was still very young. At first, she lived at the founder's house with the dogs. She played with them, ate with them, and slept with them. No, Cheesecake didn't consider herself a dog, but she definitely liked them a lot. Growing up, she began to care for all the orphan puppies that ended up in the shelter. Cheesecake adopts the puppies, eats and sleeps with them, and even punishes babies if they misbehave. Overall, she behaves like a real dog mother. But Cheesecake isn't only friends with the puppies. Like a real capybara, she is happy to socialize with every animal in the shelter and take care of them too. And that's it for today, friends. Please give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.